Hey guys, welcome to PJ's Coin Capers. So it's pretty much like Christmas Day when the annual report is released, especially for coin collectors. And this is the day we like to look forward to each and every year, and we hang out for October. It feels like it's come maybe about 10 days early this year, which has been great. But the annual report has been released for 2019-2020. Now, before we begin, there is a lot to go through in this report, and we're probably not going to be able to cover it all. And maybe in future videos, we'll be able to go back and have a look at a few different things. But today, we're going to focus on, I suppose, the circulating coins and maybe a couple of other interesting facts, okay? So there is so much built into this and so much we've been looking forward to from a 2019 perspective with both the IRB and the JC effigies. So the two different effigies that came out in 2019. And that was always going to make this report very, very interesting. All right, so let's get into it. Before we begin, you can't just go and read this report, the 2019-2020 report, because the figures are spread out over the period of a financial year. So you have to compare the figures that are also in the 2018 report. So that's the 2018 report. And so you will be having to use this in order to get the figures and make some judgments on whether or not you should be buying for investment purposes based on two reports, so the previous year's report and this year. Now, we've got a great group of people at PJ's Coin Capers, especially in the Facebook group as well, and there's been a lot of discussion throughout the day. Now, Paul Allen has gone and created some slides that he put up on the PJ's Coin Capers Facebook group, and I contacted him and asked whether or not he would mind if I used his slides, because I was going to create something very similar, and he'd already done the work and was more than happy for me to use the slides in this video. So let's have a look at, we've got three slides to have a look at where he has combined figures, okay? So, well, we might as well start here. So this is the A to Z coins, okay? So we've been talking about for a little while, and in a few of my videos, that these numbers are going to be fairly low. Now, we were guessing around that 350,000 per coin. Now, it's slightly higher than that because the Royal Australian Mint have put their numbers in slightly differently this year, and I'll explain that a little bit further in a moment. But there is 346,000 that have gone into circulation for each of the coins, okay? Then they also made for sale on the Mint website, and I think possibly through coin dealers as well, little carded coins for individual coins, okay? So we've called them the wallet coin. Hopefully you can see my mouse here. And then the rolls that were available as pictured here through Australia Post. There was 145,000 of those rolls. So that gives us a total for each of the coins of 523,002. Okay, so that puts these coins as the lowest minted $1 coins. This comes in lower than the 2016 50 years of changeover, and at 560,000, so slightly lower. I don't think these are going to have the same appeal long term as the changeover dollar coin, even though they are lower and they can be found in circulation. Obviously, there are 26 different kinds of them. So it'll be interesting to watch and see what happens in relation to these Aussie Coin Hunt coins in the future. So keep an eye on those ones, and we also know that there is a new set coming out soon with the new A to Z coins. So look out for those. I'm not sure exactly when they're coming out, but I'm assuming it's still this year, but yeah, not sure. All right, so let's move on to the next slide. Oh, one other thing to notice here. We've spoken about the Privy marked envelope coin, the special A letter coin that could be found in these rolls. Now, we know that there was 7,500 of them put into the rolls, and plus another 2,000 that went into the P&C. But the annual report states 14,500 of them. So we don't know what's happened to the other 500,000. We know that some people have found those particular coins in their coin bags that have come from, say, Armaguard and those types of security companies when the mint released a whole heap of reject coins into circulation. And it looks like some of those Privy marked envelope coins have also made their way into circulation that way. All right, let's jump on to the next slide. Now, we've also been talking about the 50-cent coins. Now, 50-cent coins, we were hoping were going to be low mintage all year, and certainly the price has reflected that people weren't finding them in circulation, and they were not finding them, not able to get many from the money expos and the swap meets through 2019. So, look, there's some really great news, and there's a little bit of discussion relating to some of the numbers relating to the JC coin, and we'll go into that a little bit further in a moment also. But Paul has very well put this out so we can see it clearly and combined the 2018 figures as well as the 2019 figures, and given us a total. Okay, so we've got here for the IRB coin in 2018, 224 and another 16,000 for this financial year, giving a total of 240,000 of the IRB. So this effigy here, the IRB effigy, and that is a super low number. So you would be very happy with that, but the JC has trumped it, and so 14,000 initially in 2018, 2019, and then we've moved on to just 56,000 in the 2019-2020, bringing a total of 70,000. Now, I will be adding to that number shortly, okay? So when we have a look at the next slide, I'll show you exactly why. He's also gone and broken up some of the sets that contain what is it? Probably the IRB and possibly the JC in some of these. But he's broken up the numbers there. So spend some time, pause the video, have a look at it, and get the numbers for yourself. But we won't spend time talking about each of those numbers. But certainly it does contribute and does add a little bit to the numbers. So here's those sort of numbers here. So, all right, let's move on to the next slide. So this is a bit of an overall picture, okay? So what the 5 cents through to $2 coins have done, just the standard JC and IRB effigy designs, okay? So here they all are. The IRB is 16 million it's actually more. It's 43 million total of the 5 cent coin, which we all felt that was going to be the case. The 10 cent coin at 13 million, once again, found plenty of those. The 20 cent coin we knew was going to be fairly high. The 50 cent coin, there it is at 240,000. The dollar coin at 8.7 million, so plenty of those really. And the $2 coin was certainly easy to be found as well at 16 million. Now, the JC is a little bit different, and what I've gone and done here is, Paul and I have worked together on a little bit of this, but he mostly put all this together. I just added in a section here which is relating to the JC roll. Okay, so the Mint released 1,573 rolls, so they were sets with each of these coins in the Royal Australian Mint paper, and that went into a special blue box from memory, and that did add up a little bit more to the numbers. Okay, so it was individually put into the annual report today, which they normally don't do that. They normally will count the numbers in the rolls included into the final figures. But it appears they have done that a little bit differently this year. So we may need some clarification on that, but I'm going to assume that those figures are separate from, let's say, that 70,000 that we talked about earlier. Okay, so here's the figures for the 2018 for each of those, and the 2019, and the JC set. So this is in millions, okay? So here, let's just have a look at the 50 cent coin. We knew that it was 14,056, and then we're saying because of the rolls, there was 1,573 times 20 coins equals another 31,500, which brings the total to just over 100,000 of those coins. Now, the Mint does make mistakes. We've seen that recently, and they certainly do make mistakes when reporting numbers in their annual report. So these figures can change, and I will show you as we go through the annual report a little bit in a moment. But these figures can change. Okay, so right now we go, all right, the 50 cent becomes the lowest 50 cent coin ever produced. So previously the 85 and the 93 were at 1 million. So this is well below that, okay? So even if this number ends up getting up somewhere around 200,000, say, it's still extremely low. And really the IRB coin is, that would be classed as super special if it wasn't for this JC coin this year. Now we have a new 5 cent lowest mintage coin, okay, at 4.11 million. The JC version 2019 coin is now the lowest. So the previous lowest was the 2016 changeover at 4.8 million, I believe. So 4.11, just a little bit lower. So it'll be interesting to see, whether these figures change in the future or not. I hope not. I hope that they're relatively correct. So the only other figures really that have been confirmed from the 2018-2019 are the police remembrance, which puts it up at around 3.5 million, and the centenary of repatriation adds a little bit extra than what we already knew about to bring it just over 2 million coins. So some very special mintages have been announced, and thanks to Paul for putting this all together. So keep a check. Probably in the next few days, the Royal Australian Mint will upgrade or update the websites by filling in each of the correct figures in the bottom here. So what will be interesting to look at, and especially say with the 50 cent coin, really any of them, it'd be nice if the Mint could break up the effigies. I don't think they will. I think they will put a full figure in for the 2019 50 cent coin, and they won't give an individual number for the bottom figure here. I think that'll be updated to probably somewhere over 300,000, but I doubt they'll break up the effigies into the JC and IRB. So just keep that in mind when looking at this later on. Now, the next thing we want to have a look at is the actual annual report. Let's have a look at this one here. All right, so here it is here, the annual report, and they've gone and put it into two sections. When you jump on the website, have a look. They've got a special section just for the appendices. Saves you scrolling through 60 or 70 pages to get to these figures. So just remember, as we're looking at these figures, these are the the figures for the 2019 year mostly. But as I was talking before, the Mint does make changes in the future. So let's have a look at the 20-cent coin here, 2017. You've got to add another 20,000 coins to what is probably reported on the page we just looked at a moment ago. That stands for the same for the 2018 10-cent coin, which was certainly classed as the third lowest minted coin. It probably still may remain around that figure. I'm not sure. I'd have to crunch the numbers a little bit, but there's another 500,000 that have also all of a sudden been found. What other ones can we see here of interest? So a few more updates there relating to the $2 coin. So lots of little updates that'll need to be added in. Now, another interesting I just wanted to discuss, and we'll have a look back at the mintage figures in a moment, but this one here. So the 75th anniversary end of the Second World War. So it's got an interim figure of 100,000 coins, which is interesting because if we have a look quickly back at the $2 report or the mintages, we'll see here they've actually put in an interim figure of 500,000 coins. Now, I'm not saying 100% that there's only going to be 500,000 coins, but and you may feel that there has been plenty of coins going through tills and you're able to find plenty of these coins, and certainly the Mint released a heck of a lot of these coins into circulation, and we all know what happened there, but it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. Like, I would have expected that this 0.5 million would have been the figure that went into the annual report that we would read today. So I would have thought this figure here would have been 0.5 million, and then potentially more would have been made. Now, I don't know when they updated that figure, whether it was at the end of the financial year or a little bit further into this financial year. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting that there's two different figures there, and it'll be interesting to see, obviously, the annual report when it comes out in 2021. So yeah, this time next year, basically. So I think that's all we really want to have a look at. There is so much more information in here relating to the sets and the different counter stamps and some of the other different coins that the Mint produces throughout the year, whether it be silver or gold. But yeah, too much to try and focus on now. Some of these will be in the 18 report, so 18, 19 report. You will need to crunch the numbers and have a look and compare. But it's all there, guys. So have a look, and certainly I have noticed as soon as the annual report was released, the 50-cent JC bags that were sitting around that $250 mark on eBay sold very, very quickly. Actually, I could have bought them, but I didn't. I do have a few bags. I don't have plenty, but I do have a few bags. And look, the next sort of cheapest ones were all of a sudden in their $400 to $500 range. So certainly prices are moving based on what we're seeing in this annual report. But just be aware that the numbers could change. But I still feel that those 50-cent coins are still going to be extremely low mintage. All right. So they certainly are something special. And if you find one in circulation, keep it. It's always going to be a keeper. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up here. I hope you've enjoyed this look at the annual report for 2019-2020. And if you did so, please give it a thumbs up. Also, subscribe if you haven't already. And I look forward to putting together another video for you very soon. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and bye for now.